oh, you wanna, we're gonna meet up and I'll take you to the Milonga and
sit at the same table.
Sit at the same table.
And then
dance our first tanda and
and-
dance the last tanda.
And then you know what happens? She starts dancing with all these other guys who are better than you. And then you're like, hey, it's a date. And you're like, no, it wasn't. Very much pro label. And,
Maybe I'll think about it. Putting more labels on things. Be more organized.
That's gonna be your Christmas present. I gotta get you one of those like label makers. Girlfriend. Hey, Derek. So, see, dancing like meeting Taz, like repeat Taz with that girl over there. Like, you gonna ask her out or what?
I mean, if you dance more than, I don't know, 4 tandas in a row, isn't that obvious to everybody that kind of like you're interested in that person and that, we're moving along in a certain direction in that trajectory? Yeah?
No. Hate to say it, man. Like, it might work in Europe. This is America, man.
This is America.
You gotta put a label on it. You gotta sit that girl down. Like, are we dancing exclusive?
Oh my God.
No, I'm not kidding, dude. Like, if you're gonna go out with a girl, you gotta make your intentions clear. You can't just assume that because the códigos say, oh, if you dance more than 3 times in a row with a person, like people start whispering. That doesn't matter anymore. Like times have changed. And especially in America, girls want labels. They want to know, are we going out? They want to know, am I your girlfriend? They want to know, are we exclusive? It's got to be spelled out, or they're just going to look for the next person.
I guess this is my problem here. So today we're going to be talking about, labels. And when it comes to dating in tango, to me, like, it's just, I don't know if I'm just coming from the wrong environment or upbringing, but like, I'm under the impression if we went to a restaurant one-on-one, that's a date to me, right? That's a date.
No.
Yeah, I don't have to say that this is, I don't have to classify it as a date. Who goes to a restaurant one-on-one with somebody that's not a date?
You know what? I used to think like that. I seriously did. And this is what happened. And this is like
that is a date.
This was the eye opener for me. I went on what I thought was a date. Took the girl out to dinner. We went dancing. We danced tango, but not at a Milonga. We went out to another place. It was like a Halloween, not a Halloween thing. It was like a big costume, big costume party production, right?
Yeah.
It was a big thing. We got tickets. It was like, made out in the car and everything too. I'm not. Like it was
Okay, I mean that's obvious. Then how do you not like?
Right.
If you make out with somebody, how's that like not a thing? It's like,
you know what?
What is that? We're just friends that make out?
Here's the problem. Okay, you're gonna laugh at this, right? But okay, she ended up kind of like I was going for a follow-up date, and then she kept on pushing it off, and then of course like she found someone else, But like there was a follow-up date, and then she was just kind of like, well, we're just friends. I'm like, I don't make out with my friends.
Exactly.
And that was, but you see, her idea was we're just friends.
Yeah.
And that was what told me that labels are important. Like that was like that. That was the first.
To define it.
Yeah, like that was the first thing. Because like what, I didn't ever say we were going on a date. I just said, hey, you know what? There's this really cool event. Let's go out and have fun.
I mean, what are we in, like 4th grade? Like, would you be my girlfriend? Like, are you serious? Like, don't you evolve from that?
Well,
how is that still the standard?
Apparently, that's the standard. You know what? Hey, I'm just saying. Here's the thing: if you like a girl, right, and if you want to go down that route and you're gonna risk it, sure, go ahead and risk it, right? Mm-hmm. But I like this girl. I went out with her. I thought it was pretty obvious, and then. I got ghosted, and it's like, oh, we're just friends. I'm like, I don't French kiss friends. That's just the way it is. So like now, like I've learned to just kind of to be very overt. It's like, hey, I like you. Want to see where things goes? Let me take you out to dinner. It's very clear. Yeah. I want to take you on a date. Even if I say I want to take you out to dinner, that doesn't even mean date unless I say, because it could be misinterpreted. Like, oh, you're just a nice guy who's just spending money on me.
Oh man.
That's just, hey, I'm just saying, I've been down that road and I've been burned.
Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of guys have that story, myself included. It's a very the friend zone, as we would say, is a tough one for all guys. We know this. But when we talk about tango, what are like the clear, definitive lines? Because I think it is tough because dating in tango, especially the initial process, initial phase, is very tough because like you are dancing closely with other women, and so I guess women kind of just assume like, oh, he dances, like close with other people, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
So what's the, it's
how am I special?
Yeah, how am I special, right? And so I guess that's a good factor.
Yeah.
People play the carpool thing, try to get in that way, right? Like, oh, you wanna, we're gonna meet up and I'll take you to the Milonga and
sit at the same table.
Sit at the same table.
And then
dance our first tanda and dance the last tanda.
And then you know what happens? She starts dancing with all these other guys who are better than you. And then you're like, hey, it's a date. And you're like, no, it wasn't. No, I'm not kidding. It's like that.
The Milonga might be the worst date, probably.
Yeah, because you're not even talking.
I mean, I remember when I was dating long distance, like that, like a festival or a marathon it wasn't even an equation of a date. Like that, like she didn't even factor that in. Like that's just something we do. It's like nothing special.
Yeah.
Going to a marathon, nothing special.
It is nothing special.
But it is. What do you mean? We are going together. We are flying out to a different city and attending this event together.
Yeah,
a festival or a marathon that we both enjoy, both like doing. How is that not,
because
a special thing?
Because she would have done it on her own anyway. And like, you would have done it on your own, she would have done it on her own. It's out of convenience.
No, but we're going together now, and so now that makes a difference. So now we're staying together,
okay.
and now we do extracurricular things together.
All right. You know what, ladies, help me out here, right? Help me out here. Because I might shoot myself in the foot for this one, but I'm going to say, from my understanding, that it's nothing. It's something you would have already done. Like, you didn't do anything extra. You didn't go the extra mile.
But it's something we both like doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But the thing is, okay. Let me try to rephrase this in a different scenario. Okay. You like eating. The girl likes eating.
Yeah.
All right. You're eating together.
Yeah.
Is it really special?
Depending on the restaurant, depending on the scenery, the ambiance, yes.
Okay. So that's what you think.
I would not go to this restaurant if it wasn't for you. This other person.
Again, that's
so it's not something I would go to. So
no.
that goes against your other definition, right? Something we both would have done.
Yeah.
I would not have done that.
No. Okay.
Had she not been in this equation, I'm not going to this fancy sushi restaurant. I'm gonna go there by myself.
Okay. What I'm
and
just
get
saying,
this sushi boat.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, it looks like it's a low effort thing. And that's what I'm getting down to, is that it's from my experience, what people want to see is that you go the extra mile. And if if it looks like it's a low effort, like I'm only worth the low hanging fruit that you're doing. I'm not worth like you going like to the world's end to
there's dangers in doing that too, right?
There is.
You become that try hard guy, and then she respects you less.
There's that too.
She respects you way less being the try hard guy.
There's that too. I agree.
Yes.
But what I was saying is that. But
I bought you flowers and chocolate. Here's a stuffed animal.
Yeah. But you see, like if you do less, but then you label it, this is something I don't, because like they're not gonna realize that. This is your extra effort, because it's like, to them it's like, oh, well, you already do this anyway. Like, what have you changed in your life to accommodate for me? Like what makes me so special? If you go to marathons all around the world, how's this more special? Just
sharing
because,
it together?
just because I'm there, you know, like
I mean, you go to a beach or go to a park. You've been to parks and beaches by yourself too. How does it make it special?
okay, label it.
What do you mean label it?
Label it. Just like, hey, this is our
This is our special park.
Yeah, this is our anniversary marathon. This is our. Hey, I'm just saying.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Like, people like clear communication. People like labels.
Yeah.
There you go. This is hey, it's our 3-month anniversary going to a marathon.
All
you know,
right.
I mean, like that's all it takes.
Fair enough.
You
Fair
know?
enough. What about in the dating phase, and then you're now going to the Milongas? What do you act differently at the Milonga?
Oh, I definitely act differently.
When you're dating somebody?
I definitely act differently.
Well, I mean, like, is there rules in play? Like her rules or your rules? Do you have rules?
That's goes to the negotiation level. Like,
Negotiation?
No, because seriously, like okay, when like my
Like
last
haggling?
no, when my last
bartering?
yeah. See, I've been in a relationship where I'm like, hey, dance with everyone. I want you to have fun. I'm gonna have fun. I have my friends. You have your friends, and we're also just we're doing our thing.
Well, there's the thing where it's like I've seen couples do this where it's just like separately. We're gonna sit separately. We're gonna pretend like we're not even together. Like you wouldn't even know that we're a couple because I'm gonna do my thing. You're gonna do my thing. Because what happens is like when you do the couple thing, and you see this a lot. Like that couple just dances with themselves and doesn't dance with anybody else, and then they just sit there.
Or
the guy goes out and dances with a whole bunch of other people, and
the girl sits there, gets all pissed off. And that is why I had the 45 plus rule for a while. That was our part of the negotiation. We're like, I couldn't dance with anyone under 45.
That's tough.
You know? No, but that was the rule. That was the rule. Either current friends I already had that she knew of, or 45 plus. That was the rule. And we danced the first tanda, a couple warm-up tandas. We danced some mid tandas in the middle, and then we danced the last tanda. Mm-hmm. And if we don't dance the last tanda, it has to be agreed upon. Like we give a nod or a sign, and it's all right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it's again every person's different. It's a negotiation.
Yeah.
You know, like I had a girlfriend who was like, hey, it's free reign, it's all good as long as we did last tanda, first tanda and last tanda, that was good.
First tanda, last tanda.
There are other girls who are just like, yeah, it was different. It was different.
I think it's only different depending on the scenario, right? If you're both dancing, I think then it's fine. But if she's not dancing and you're dancing, it's a huge problem.
And that's usually what happens. It's like, especially if you're the more popular one,
yeah,
or just because the gender imbalance makes things a lot harder for her.
Yeah.
Or she's maybe less social.
Because guys like the illusion of like being making it happen. Like,
yeah.
Even if it's not like their thing, it's like the illusion.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when celebrities like you're like, oh, she's single. Like even though you're damn well you're not gonna be dating like that celebrity, but you just like in your mind, oh well, she's on the market. It's possible. It's the possibility that's there. Yeah. And so I think that that's what a lot of guys kind of. When you're taken, they're like, and also I think they don't want to offend the other guy, like especially if they're friends with the guy, they're just like, yeah.
Well, again,
I have other options. I'm gonna choose those other options.
Again, it depends like how new the relationship. If you're 1 month in, like if you're dating someone for a month, I would not ask that person to dance for the first month.
Really?
Well, it depends on what the relationship looks like. Like, did you already say that? See, the thing with you is that you never really said if you're exclusive or not. You kind of just assumed. So I don't even know what your label is.
If we are going out all the time and I see you all the time, we hang out all the time. Why do I have to label it? It's inevitable. It's implied.
Yeah. But,
things are implied.
Yeah. Well.
It's implied.
Well. How do I know if you're exclusive? How do you know if you're poly? How do you know there's all these labels out there? It's like, god damn, I gotta tiptoe over everything,
That's another one. Poly and Tango. That's a whole another video right there. But
next video, poly and Tango.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your boat, man. I have no experience with poly and Tango. I'm a one girl guy.
I mean, you never know. You're gonna try different flavors and see what you like.
Yeah,
Right?
I hear you. I hear you. But you know what? Generally, I do the what's his name? The guy who like the the vice president who I usually do the Mike Pence thing, where it's like there's that one person. I'm not in the room alone with another girl without like anyone else around. It's just I like to go home to peace. So I make it very clear about what's going on.
Okay, fair enough.
And poly, like, I mean, haven't tried it yet. I'm not opposed to it, but at the same time, it's just, do I see myself going home to peace? And I don't, just my personality and my very traditional upbringing, I don't see myself going home to peace.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yep. So, yeah. Anyway, labels.
It's a tough one because, it's the interesting thing is that in Tango we're such a small community, and it's so funny. Like the funniest thing is when you see like that new girl like comes into the community, and there's like kind of like almost like a Royal Rumble to try to like
in this corner.
who's gonna be the one to kind of make their move first, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Like, yeah, it is sad at the same time. It's interesting and sad at the same time. But it's true, right?
Well, what's sad about it?
It's like, how can one person just make a whole community kind of just like tear each other apart? Possibly.
Hey, wars have been fought over like less, right? Wars have been fought over a girl. What, Helen of Troy?
I know.
I mean, come on, man.
Oh man. Yeah. I used to think that it was like in order to grow a community, especially in LA, that we need more guys. But now I'm starting to realize maybe we need more women. Even though we have a surplus of women, I think it wouldn't help to have more. Maybe it draws in more and more guys.
Yeah, okay. I think there is some truth to that, but also at the same time, that is a very dangerous card to play. No,
Why?
The reason why I say it's a dangerous card is because like there is a point where yes, like more girls will draw more guys, but also at the same time, it's also like more girls also might ostracize the people who are already here because there's so much focus on like the new girl, the new things,
Sure.
And that's another can of worms that like I mean it's gonna happen sooner or later, but it's another can of worms to deal with, and it's kind of like how many problems can you deal with at the same time before like things really start falling apart, And I don't know. I'm kind of more of the whole like slow change versus like something that's very
Sudden.
so not sudden, but just like sudden, but also like that caused a huge paradigm shift. I'm very much of the whole like. Let's just change things slowly, little by little, and then we'll get there. It sucks, but at the same time, it's like that. If we do a paradigm shift, like all bets are off. You don't know what's going to happen. It could be really good. It could be really bad.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I think with the slow shift, at least you have a little more. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a little more controlling. I've got control issues, so maybe I like the slow change because I feel like. At least there's an illusion of control that I might have, So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I like the whole idea of the Wild Wild West. So, but there is a truth to what you say though. Like more people, more you get that critical mass, everything's great. But sometimes I just think it's just the idea of newness. Like, do you need like 30 new girls to get like 50 new guys? No, I don't think
Maybe.
so. Maybe it might work, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes I think all you need is 5, and because the whole idea of just like, um, as long as there's new blood coming in, it breeds that excitement that
It
people just
does.
want to, I mean, sure, 30 might be amazing and you might get a lot more, but I think, just even a handful is good just because that whole idea of new blood and excitement really propels the community forward. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this whole label thing is interesting, especially with the whole dating things. It makes it very complex. I think the only thing when it's solidified is when we have married couples in tango,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like, all right, well then lines have been drawn and it's,
Yeah,
it's
well,
obvious.
Well, with my last relationship, that was, it lasted like 8-10 years. Um, and it's kind of funny, but like we started with the labels, and I think because we started with the labels and like we kind of negotiate, like it's kind of funny, but the way I think about it, it was almost like a business deal more than like like your typical romance,
Be a transactional relationship, huh?
Well, I don't want to say transactional relationship, but it's just more of like,
Exactly.
but it was more like a royal contract, where like it's a whole idea like, what do you want? What do I want? What are our expectations? What are our labels? All that was out, and I think it really helped us really come together as a couple and kind of say, okay, things are very clear. Like, if I do X, Y, Z, you're gonna get really, really mad, and that's like a breach of contract. If you do X, Y, Z, I'm gonna get really, really
Void.
mad. Yeah. It's very obvious of what are the deal breakers. We had those kind of conversations, and we had those kind of conversations of like, hey, things, this is not typical, and like because like she was an introvert, I was an extrovert, and psychology says that's a bad deal. So I think that we talked about that. We talked about all these things of like, hey, let's just give it a shot anyways, and if things don't work out, we can still be friends, and yeah.
Can you be friends?
We're still friends.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still friends, and we're still we're still friends. So I think it's fine. But yeah, I think it's because we approached everything with labels and with like ideas of what deal breakers are and like what are like total faux pas and like cardinal sins and what we want. It really helped put us on a path to try to make things work, and so I'm very much pro label, and
Maybe I'll think about it. Putting more labels on things. Be more organized.
that's gonna be your Christmas present. Dude. I gotta get you one of those like label makers, girlfriend.
Oh man. But yeah, let us know what you think about the whole label system for you, and if it works for your relationship and dating wise, we would like to know. But until then, thank y'all for watching our latest episode of Left Foot, Right Foot, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, thank you for joining us for this episode of Left Foot, Right Foot. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and notification bell to keep up to us in our latest content.
Yeah, it really goes a long way. We've come a long way so far, and we really appreciate everyone's support in helping us grow this channel and all supporting our lifelong path of really getting social dancing out there and allowing other people to find their way to Argentine Tango.